I ask all nominees to any of the, on any of the committees on which I sit, the following two initial questions. So I'd like to ask all of you this en masse. Since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement related to this kind of conduct?
No.
Dr. Berhe, I was very interested to learn of the work that you did with the Advanced Geo Partnership that focused on empowering geoscientists to respond to and prevent sexual harassment, discrimination, and bullying in research workplaces. This is an area of concern to me because as we talk about our country's ability to compete, especially in the STEM areas where women and minorities drop out of these fields in droves, your work in preventing sexual harassment and these kinds of workplace issues is really interesting to me. So, Dr. Berhe, what have you learned working on the partnership, and how would you apply that learning in leading the Office of Science?
Thank you very much, Senator. You're right. This is a really important area. If we're going to continue to maintain a very competitive and successful scientific workforce, ensuring welfare of that workforce, and ensuring that people from all walks of life can enter science and succeed in the scientific workforce is a really important goal, and it's been a goal of mine in my entire professional career. In particular, what we've done in the Advanced Geo Partnership, which is, as you know, an NSF-funded effort, is to make sure that we're empowering scientists to address these issues and prevent them from happening in the first place. Create workplace cultures that actually limit the occurrence of these incidents. We have legal mechanisms to address them after the fact, but I personally believe that's a little too late time to address them. So we could actually use a community model, a community building approach, where we're empowering scientists to work together to establish a culture where everyone that enters our academic institutions deserves to just be able to focus on their work in peace without any kind of exclusionary behavior, and that if we establish these shared goals and learn about what's right and what's not right ahead of time, I think we could do a lot of good. And that's one of the most important lessons that has come out of the Advanced Geo Project. Obviously, the Advanced Geo Project was focused on very different kinds of institutions, in particular universities, not necessarily kind of the Office of Science type of scale, even though Office of Science funds universities, obviously. But I think there are important lessons of community building and partnerships that would allow us to prevent things.
And are these lessons learned the things that you will apply heading up the Office of Science? Because I agree with you that prevention and education and awareness and creating an environment where these kinds of behaviors get reported and dealt with is really important. So I assume that you will implement or institute these kinds of practices.
Thank you again,
in
Senator.
your new position, should you be confirmed.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to working with the leadership at DOE and the national labs and learning about what kind of things are occurring right now in that space and sharing things we've learned from the Advanced Geo and other opportunities.
I am going to be interested in continuing a dialogue with you in these areas, and I am running out of time, but I just wanted to mention to Ms. Stackelberg the important role that the Department of Interior plays in serving indigenous communities, including our native Hawaiian communities. So I certainly look forward to speaking with you about this in more detail during a future discussion.
Senator, I look forward to that if I'm confirmed. Thank you.
So, Dr. Richmond, maintaining a culture of scientific integrity within DOE's Office of Science is critically important. And what steps will you take to support DOE's scientists and foster scientific communication with the public?
Thank you very much for that question. It's really important and also timely, Senator. My role, if confirmed, would be to ensure that the leadership sends the message strongly down and out that scientific integrity is our priority. As a scientist, we have ways, in terms of the research that we do, making certain that it is valid, reproducible, and comes to the appropriate conclusions based on the data. We have checks and balances that are there in order to ensure that the best science gets out and gets very visible, as long as we're sticking with the data. But it goes beyond that in regards to being able to have the public trust us with regards to whether they believe what we are saying is important and the priorities that we are setting. And therefore, it's important that we use data that has the integrity, that allows us to make the important points, to move the needle on some of the important issues that we have in technology and also energy workforce development. So I can assure you that that would be a top priority for me in working with the Secretary to ensure that scientific integrity is operative at all levels, and also that we provide the public and the taxpayers the knowledge that that's the way we operate. Thank you for that question.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I'm glad that you mentioned the need to restore the public's trust in science and facts as a way to make decisions, because there are major concerns that I have as to that, whether or not we do have a public that relies on facts and science for decision making. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you,
Senator
Mr.
King.